You take the blue pill, and the story ends. You wake up in bed and believe whatever you want to believe. Or you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and we show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Aloha, multidimensional friends, shifters, hackers, holographic people within this holographic matrix. This is Brendon. You tuned into another live broadcast here through Paradigm Shift Central. This is, of course, our Synergy Circle for August 29th, 2019. Another opportunity for us to be able to come together as creators, as leaders, as shifters, as light guardians, as people who are dedicated and passionate about being able to help make a difference in this world through creativity and compassion. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here once again. And of course, I am joined by some fellow amazing shifters. So fellow amazing shifters, go ahead, gently unmute yourself and send some love to all the people who are tuned into this broadcast right now and in the future. Go ahead. Awesome. Thank you again, everyone, so much for tuning into this. Of course, we are broadcasting through Facebook, we're broadcasting through YouTube, and we are also available on iTunes, and you can find us there under Paradigm Shift Radio. But hey, go ahead and check out more at paradigmshiftcentral.com. You'll see it is a portal for inspirational conscious media, and we'll share with you some quick updates in terms of the project, what to be able to expect within the coming month, and also, of course, how you too can be involved. Then from there, we'll get into some personal updates from the fellow shifters who are here, such as myself, Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, Mystic Spider-Man, Arianna, and Michelle, and also our newest leading member, Brendon from Arizona. So thank you again, everyone, so much for being here. And of course, a huge shout out to everybody who is also tuned in on the live chat as well. Wherever you are, whenever you are, to get a chance to tune into this broadcast, thank you so much for being a part of it. So going over some quick updates. Again, Paradigm Shift Central is a portal for inspirational conscious media. What is it that we are doing? We are helping create a network, a community, a team of shifters, as I said, and being able to help feature the content we are creating and being able to help collectively document the bigger story of our ongoing shift in consciousness. And that's a part of what we do here within this broadcast. As team players, we'll be able to share some updates in terms of the different ways that we're being able to help assist with the shift, art that we're working on, community events that we're facilitating, plus additional wisdom and insight. And so on the main website, you can check out some amazing content with plenty more content coming. You can also find us on Paradigm Shift Central on Instagram, and you can also connect to my personal profile, Mystic Spider-Man, as well. And yeah, within the coming month, moving into September, some of the big things that I'm really going to be focusing on is really just focusing on featuring a variety of creators within the community while continuously growing our network, specifically through Instagram, through Facebook, and also through our new newsletter that we are publishing once a week that you can subscribe to by checking the information down below on YouTube as well. And again, like this project is as a Cancerian, Cancerians, if you're familiar, we have a tendency to we're just okay, how can I help people? How can I help the team? How can I help the fam? And so this whole project is really me answering that question of dude, my friends are so freaking awesome. They have so much value to share. They have so much amazing content. They have such amazing stories. How do I create a network to be able to help feature them, to be able to help as the network grows? Anything that we put through the network allows that content to reach the shared audience. So that's kind of the idea, is that instead of trying to be yo, single person, I'm gonna help your individual YouTube channel grow over the period of 5 months. Instead, it's yo, let's focus on growing this single channel, and then anything that we put through this will have that ability to reach more people and to grow. So it's a shared network, it's a shared platform, and this is about being able to support, as I said, conscious media creators, people such as myself who are making YouTube videos, who are making it a part of their daily life to be able to help assist with the shift in a variety of means, and who are moving more and more towards that path and being able to do what they love for full-time living as entrepreneurs. And so that's what you'll see within this project. You'll get to meet a bunch of awesome people who are making this their life path, with the intention of being able to inspire each and every single person being a part of this to be hey, we're doing it, You're doing it, let's all do it together. And we're all here to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness through the small things, through the big things, whether you're creating a YouTube channel, whether you're like helping out in your local community, whether you're just having a conversation with a family member or a friend, whatever it is to you. Those little things make the big difference. So of course, here within the project, we always encourage people to be the shift, to carry the shift with them, to be able to go out there and do things like free hugs, to practice expressing their creativity, to make art, to make music, to make things with their hands, and also to be able to organize community events, to bring people together with the intention of being able to help be mirrors for each other's growth, to be able to help support the ongoing shift in consciousness. And again, let's practice real quick. What is the shift in consciousness? Because let's just say that, for someone who's tuning into this, you've probably got an idea, but even still, this broadcast is essentially a place for us as leaders to be able to practice communicating, to practice talking, to practice showing up, to practice being on stage in a sense. So real quick, if I were to say, what is the shift in consciousness? From one way of explaining it, it has to do with the process of seeing beyond the illusions of separation that have been a common story for the many common mainstream, for the many years within the mainstream, and being able to really see the unity between ourself, our reality, and most importantly, our potential within it as co-creators, to become better dreamers within the dream, to essentially, as alluded to in the beginning of this broadcast, to wake up within the matrix, to be the one, to be Neo, awakening to our own power, to our divinity, to our multidimensional reality. And again, being able to essentially, the core out of this is to be able to bring hope. If we were approaching this as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs often look at things as what is the problem? And what is the solution? The problem, if we're calling it that, is the idea that there are I don't want to say too many, but there are a lot of people living stories without hope and living the same stories. And what we want to be able to do is be able to provide people and invite them into this new story. And it's not a new story. It's just a continuation of what's already been going on. But this very exciting co-created story of being able to be we're here making a difference. We're stepping into our real world superpowers. You can do this too. You can do this where you are too, because you are a part of this team. You are a shifter. You are a light guardian. So that's essentially what it is that we're doing. Again, we've been growing this network. We're supporting creators over this coming month. Be sure to connect to Paradigm Shift Central on Instagram. You can find the links down below, and also my individual profile. And like I said, I'm really going to be focusing on just curating content. That's a big part of my job. Creating content, but also curating content, which means finding my friends who are making awesome stuff and helping feature it and helping more people connect to their work and helping support them by allowing more people to be able to connect to their network and be a part of what they're doing and connect with their services and purchase their items and be able to watch their videos. So yeah, that's what we've been doing here through Paradigm Shift. I think that what we are doing here is very special. It's very unique. And I know a lot of you communicate that as well. You're just yo, this is some pretty awesome stuff that we got going on here. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you watching this broadcast for being a part of this story. And one of the best ways you can help is simply by telling your friends, invite them to tune into this broadcast, come back again for future broadcasts, get involved with our team chat. You can find the links down below. And yeah, just go right to paradigmshiftcentral.com and you can download our mobile app, subscribe to the newsletter, connect to the team chat, connect to the Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, comment wherever you want, like this video on YouTube. All of it helps. So thank you again, everyone, for being here, for being a part of this broadcast. So yeah, in terms of some quick updates for myself, as I said, focusing on the project, growing is kind of one of my primary things. It's almost the end of the month, so I just want to put out a quick call to be able to invite people to add their contributions to the Patreon. And thank you again to everybody on Patreon. Of course, Patreon is the monthly micro donations that support the project by supporting my livelihood and also being able to help me continue to focus full time on this as my job, which is what I do. And you can sign up there and also get a 25% discount code for items at the Quest item shop, such as Light Guardian crystals. And we got a really cool deal. Wow, that one's super bright. And this is one of the Light Guardian crystals for those you haven't seen. But we got a super special deal where if people are signing up for the monthly shifter booster kit, which is at the $33 level, which is sending you a shifter booster kit every single month, which is a super awesome value, we will also include a free Light Guardian crystal with your first shifter booster kit. So I know Arianna has actually signed up for that, so she's going to be getting hers as well. So I'll have to make sure she chooses which color she wants. And yeah, these also come with like, this is like the solid color, but they also come with like a multicolor light, like a one that changes color too. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, so again, be sure to check out patreon.com/Brendon Culton. Add your support either before September 1st, after September 1st, $3, $11, $1,000. It's all equally appreciated. And thank you again. And also you can check out the items at questitemshop.com. This isn't just about selling you swag. This is about giving you tools to be able to help assist you in accelerating the shift. So moving into some quick updates for myself. Yeah, since the last broadcast, quite a bit's happened. I got to go to an event with Bob Proctor. Some people saw that. That was really cool. A lot of people are familiar with Bob Proctor. He's like a super well-known millionaire. He's in the movie The Secret. He was involved with writing The Secret. He teaches a lot of people about business, but he brings a unique perspective of like the importance of mindset and vibration and frequency. So really teaching about the law of attraction, but like teaching people how to be able to incorporate that into manifesting their dreams, be it their business dreams or any dreams. And the big takeaway, which is again something a lot of us are already familiar with, is that like one of the ways that we manifest is by becoming clear on what our goals are, becoming clear on what our targets are, and really like aligning with that idea that that future already exists. And then from there, essentially being able to like reverse engineer the process through divine intelligence. Once you become clear on what you want and stay in that thought process, then like things begin to unfold. And you have to be willing to like do things you haven't done. You have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to be brave. The universe loves courage. So yeah, that was a really cool event. It was super rare chance. Like I'll probably never meet Bob Proctor again. Who knows? But I mean, like I'm kind of seeing that as probably a once in a lifetime opportunity. Got to shake his hand and everything like that. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, definitely took a lot of inspiration from that, connected with some other people. And yeah, happy to be able to like bring that inspiration more into what we're doing. Because again, you know, straight up, when we talk about Bob Proctor, obviously we're talking about money for any of us. Like there's a huge conversation here, but I'll just mention it real quick. We are all incredibly valuable. Each and every single one of us here deserves to be earning whatever we wish to be able to be earning each and every single month, right? So once we get clear on that, of how much value we innately have, then that will like increase our ability to be able to attract it. So once you're just like, yo, like I want to make like $10,000 a month because I know that like that's the value that I have to offer. And so like for myself, like that's part of what is my ongoing mission is, yes, to be able to manifest additional income for the purpose of being able to increase global impact as well. And again, without really having to say it, like money is energy. So I am communicating the fact that like I am very excited for the day where I'll be able to like come on here and be like, we did it, guys. Like I'm like earning $10,000 a month, and because I'm able to like give back to the community in such amazing ways. And one of the amazing ways that we'll actually be doing tonight is we'll actually be doing a shifter booster kit giveaway later in the broadcast, because that's always something that I want to be able to do more of, is literally just be able to have like shift buttons and shifter booster kits and just be able to like get them to people, to literally be able to have like a bank where it would just be like an accumulated amount each month where people can just be like, yo, can you send me like 30 shift buttons? And I'll just be like, done, because the resources are there within the community. So again, the value of being able to like attract more money increases the ability for us to be able to help more people, to help the people within the network, to help them grow as creators, to help them increase our global impact. So stay tuned for the day when, again, like all the people in this network are like just really manifesting on like high levels, and less about money, but more about global impact and using money as a vehicle to be able to help increase our global impact. So yeah, holding space for that. And thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this. And definitely just like feel free to like hold that space, hold that vision in your mind as well. So that's basically all my kind of updates for now. We've been doing the Paradigm Shift London meetings on Fridays in the park. Had a good meeting last week as well. Got another one coming up as well. If you're in London, Ontario, Canada, send me a direct message and I'll send you information for that. And other than that, that's really all the updates that I have to share for now. And we're going to pass the talking stick around and we'll hear from each and every person here. And then from there, we'll get into some additional conversation. I know Brandon, who I mentioned, he knows a lot about like orgone technology and everything. So we're going to be talking a little bit about like EMF awareness, EMF education, because I think that's something that like a lot of us, again, need to be able to become more aware of. And also, again, just kind of reflecting on the question of like what is needed related. Obviously, since last broadcast, we had a big conversation about like what was happening in the Amazon. We can check back in with that. Michelle actually had her video published as a shift entry to the main website. I encourage people to go check out that. It was the one she was talking about. That was like a prayer that was like really well edited. She had some help with that, and it's got some like really nice music underneath it and everything. So go ahead and check that out as a shift entry on the main website. And yeah, and we'll just kind of like go with the flow. And part of the objective is to keep this broadcast under 90 minutes. So I've said what I need to say for now. And passing the talking stick around, and thank you everyone again for being here, for playing, for having fun, for leveling up together. So I'm gonna pass it to Arianna first, and I know she was talking a bit about she's been helping out with some really cool community event type stuff, so I'm looking forward to giving her the talking stick so she can tell you more about it, plus other stuff that she's probably got going on that I haven't even heard about. So Arianna, passing the talking stick over to you. Go ahead, introduce yourself for people who haven't met you yet, and plug your work and tell us a little bit more about the things you're doing to help assist with the shift. So Arianna, when you're ready, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm Arianna. I am a hypnotherapist, energy healer, spiritual counselor, and coach. I also teach meditation and manifestation. And every week in my community, I have 2 free meditation and discussion groups that has just been the best thing I've been doing lately. We pick a different topic every week. We have this community discussion, and then I lead us in a meditation. And just yesterday, we talked about peace and how important it is to really embody that within ourselves so that we can radiate it out into our community and beyond. And they have pretty much given me the job of now creating this huge citywide peace day. And luckily, with about 2 years of networking, I know all the city of Vacaville people. I know all the vendors. So we're starting to set up a big peace movement. We're going to have bands and donations. So I'm setting that up for the spring. But something that I'm working on that I'm really excited about, my best friend is a really very conscious photographer. She loves to help people tell their stories. And we are putting together this 8-week course for girls at the Boys and Girls Club in our town. And it's going to be all about teaching girls between the ages of 14 and 17 how to meditate, how to see things differently. You know, it's all about perception and non-judgment and empathy. So I'm really very excited. We're starting that in October, and I can't wait to get these girls up together, dancing together, meditating, sharing, you know, really understanding that, you know, at that sort of hard, difficult age, understanding that you're not alone in your struggles. So that's what I've been up to lately.
Awesome. And go ahead and first of all, like that's amazing to be able to hear that like that opportunity is kind of like landed in your lap, because I mean obviously yeah, it's there because like you're a person who will definitely be able to help make it possible and help bring it to fruition. So I mean yeah, again, kind of like I like the future is a very interesting thing because it's always been there, and now it's just kind of like aligning with the fact that like you're ready for it. So that's very exciting. And like how does that feel for you as a leader? Like, do you feel like a mix of excitement, nervousness, yet calmness kind of all mixed in? Or
yeah, one of my favorite type of clients to work with is other healers, and we tend to have that sort of imposter syndrome going on. So that's been something I've worked on for years, like, who am I to do this work, you know, and been working on that. And now I really just feel this sense of gratitude that I've had all this experience, I've had all this training, and now I have these opportunities to help. And I just remembered another opportunity coming up. I will be volunteering with our local homeless shelter to help LGBT homeless youth, which is something I'm very passionate about. So yeah, just getting all these opportunities to really help the community with things that, you know, I struggled with. I struggled with depression, and using things like meditation and self-care got me through it. And I can't wait to help other people do that as well.
That's awesome. Cool. And do you want to just, if you want to just like plug your channels and just tell
Oh
people a
yeah.
little bit more about what you do and any services that you offer and invite people to connect with you on that level too?
Yeah, you can find me at arialynna.com. It's ARIALYNNA. I'm also on Instagram with that same name, and I have a YouTube channel as well. And you can find my meditations that I do every week. I put them up for free. So we pick a different topic every week, and I just do a little guided meditation. I do distance energy healing, spiritual coaching, counseling, private meditation classes, manifestation coaching, and hypnotherapy for everything. There's past life stuff, there's, quitting smoking, weight loss, depression, anxiety. There's so much you can use when you dive into the subconscious and look at those underlying beliefs that are running your life. So that's what I really help my clients with. So, and I also do free consultations. So if you're interested, I'd love to just talk.
Awesome. Awesome. Sweet. So again, for anybody looking to connect, be sure to check it's we did just post it into the YouTube chat, and we'll also include it into the show notes as well. And you were talking because yeah, you mentioned you had some ideas of like content that you were thinking about publishing as a shift entry to the main website. Did you want to talk about that now, or is that something that should wait for later? Or
Um,
like general ideas of content you might be thinking about posting in the future?
yeah, I just, as a healer, heal thyself. So I do a lot of work on myself every week, and I just had a really amazing hypnosis guided imagery session that I'm really excited to share all the really spiritual like visions that I received. So I'm probably going to put that together for you guys.
Awesome. Sounds good. Cool. Sweet. Well, Arianna, thank you again for being here. And is there anything else to touch upon in terms of updates or just any sort of wisdom that you feel called to share to the circle? Any new insights that have come through from the cosmos in the past week?
Just all of my clients this past week, it's all been about, just questioning your thoughts. We don't have to believe every thought that pops into our head. Question it. Remember, we're not the thought. We are the observer of the thought. So that's what's been going on a lot this week.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So important. And that kind of makes that big shift from like reaction to like responsibility
Yeah.
in that sense. So very cool. Awesome. Well,
Thank
Arianna, thank
you.
you again for being here and then looking forward just to being able to chit chat more as we get things rolling in the circle. And we'll pass the talking stick around. And Brandon or Michelle, if one of you wants to volunteer to go next, whatever works, we can pass it to Brandon since he is new here. Brandon, would you like to go? Give us a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sweet. All right. So Brandon, again, newest leading member within Paradigm Shift Central, and yeah, I'll let him introduce himself from there. And thank you again, brother. Happy to have you here. And I will just say that yeah, we were chatting earlier, and you've been like connected with Paradigm Shift for like over 2 years, so you've like seen the story unfolding, and it's great to be able to have you here as part of the broadcast. So welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Super blessed to be here. I started um, following Brennan and your work for a couple of years now, and I was really drawn to what you started to do and accomplish with, connecting so many beautiful souls together that are on kind of like missions here. That have been, have basically had a desire to not only heal ourselves but help heal the world in various ways. And my journey, it's been interesting. My whole family, I'll give you a quick background on kind of where I came from. My whole family are really strict LDS Mormons. And so I was kind of like the only person in my family that, like, it just didn't resonate with me. And so I kind of established my own kind of belief on my own faith in the universe, you could say, as time went. And I parted ways from that religion in my earlier teenage years into high school. And then I was lost. I would say I was lost for a while. I really didn't know what I was. I didn't know if I was atheist, what I really believed in, I didn't, uh, I would say, have trust in the universe and its process, and really didn't have much faith in myself. And I was very, very like, I had a mind that, I'm a double Aquarius sign. So like when I have vision, but also if I get into a dark place and I hadn't learned proper ways and tools to mitigate, to help myself get out of those thoughts for quite some time I was in a dark place, and it was challenging. It was very challenging, and I would say that right before I became a father, this is back in I think I was this 2014 is when my son was born, but right around like 2012, I stumbled upon um, a lot of like information that we weren't taught in school. Like I was doing some soul searching, like man, I've stumbled upon Nikola Tesla and and so many affiliates that of his and brilliant minds out there that we hadn't really been taught about in school and stuff. And I was really intrigued at um, stumbling upon um, different ways that we can not only heal ourselves, but we can help protect ourselves from what's going on out there in the world. Um, and so when I first started, and so what like Brandon said, I kind of experiment with making prana devices or orgonite or orgone generators. There's been different terms for these devices throughout time. Our bodies naturally can generate it. You've got Reiki healing that Arianna does, and it's beautiful what the body can do. We have crystals within us, we have crystals in our brain. We're really, really powerful sentient beings when we are aware of that, and when we can really kind of fine tune and tune ourselves into those abilities. And I was not a believer. I was not practicing for so many years, and I had, I guess like that little itch on the shoulder, like telling me like, maybe you should look into this, and um, it took me probably a good 5 years before I fully committed to a lifestyle change that allowed me to start healing in a way that was allowing me to understand myself, to look at myself, to reflect, and in order to really start healing myself, and so I'm grateful for that switch and that change. And with that, I started experimenting more with. Sorry about the noise. I started to experience. Goodness.
So
Yeah. Hopefully, in the future, we have silent vehicles that just fly everywhere. Oh gosh. Okay. So, um, yeah, I stumbled upon one of the minds out there that I stumbled upon in my research. When I was pretty much a recluse in my room for like 3 months, I didn't like come out. I was just like heavy research mode, learning and relearning, and just oh goodness. And I stumbled upon Wilhelm Reich, and I think a lot of us have heard that name at some point in time. And Reich was heavily into. He was an Austrian doctor and researcher and scientist, and he was looking into subtle energy technology, and he worked a lot with Sigmund Freud, and they were looking into the energies that are all around us that nobody can see with the naked eye, right? And it's like they were living in a time where you know Marley, get in, honey. They were living in a time when a lot of people like didn't believe anything. If you couldn't see it with the naked eye, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, right? And so they were really ridiculed for quite some time with the research that they were delving into, and just looked at as crazies out there. And when I was reading into their research, I'm like, all right, this is cool. They're researching life force energy essentially. Freud, they Reich and Freud wound up parting ways because they didn't see eye to eye on certain parts of the research, and I won't get into detail on that per se, but right now at this time because it's lengthy. But anyway, they split up, and Reich started researching more into bion life force energy, and started to experiment with human beings and our abilities in generating life force energy naturally. So that's where things kind of start to get interesting. uh, Whereas um, and this is kind of interesting. Not a lot of people realize the back history of this, but the human body, and I'm going to get into the human body starts to reverberate life force energy as it's working its way up, and I'm just going to say it, as it's working its way up to an orgasmic state, it starts to vibrate at a certain frequency, right? And he was able to measure this with diagnostic equipment. And so what he would do is he had multiple couples that he would do and run experiments on, and depending on their level of intimacy and connection with one another, would also create a different potency of that life force energy field. So like when we hear of conception, right, and how that, the magic behind conception, okay, well, there's an energy that's attached to that to even allow it to happen in the first place. You hear of some people that have maybe have tried for years and it just never happened, and they don't have any infertility issues. Well, maybe the energy wasn't right, and that life force energy wasn't built up enough to create the field necessary in order for life to actually happen and begin. And so when he was like, "Oh man, I can measure the potency of the force of love and pretty much, you know, life energy with diagnostic equipment," he took it up a notch and started making devices that could generate and channel natural life force energy. And so he created a lot of different devices in the past, but outside of the box. As well as experimenting with animals inside the box, and then eventually humans. He would have humans sit in there that had certain ailments or disorders, and they would sit in this box, this chamber, for an X amount of time, and they would experience a potent field of this life force energy, and they would be healed in a way. And so it was really, really neat reading into this research, and it kind of just really catapulted me into the journey that I'm into now, and why I feel, you know, like this is my calling, is subtle energy technologies. You know, I finally figured out like kind of an acronym of, you know, what I am, a term, and subtle energy specialist is essentially what I feel like I'm going to be, you know, navigating towards. And you know, I'm a very, very empathic person. I can feel people's energy, whether it's toxic or good. Being around them, that's just a natural gift of mine, and it's become a lot more heightened in the time that I've been cleansing my body, cleansing my mind, my spirit, all of that. Which is why my process has definitely evolved in the creation of the devices that I make.
Mm-hmm.
I started making these things very um, just a caveman style, man. I didn't have any like uh, reverence. I didn't have a process that was kind of respectable. I just had materials and crystals and resin, and would just throw them together. And you know, and it's totally different now. You know, as I stumbled upon sound healing and the importance of frequencies and how that's how the universe works. My process has evolved in a way where I feel is I don't think I could ever create in a different manner now, you know. And so I'm grateful for that, you know, with knowledge and wisdom, you know, we evolve, and so does our methods, our practices, our creations, and all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a journey. So
No, that's awesome, man. It's it, again, we'll just kind of hit upon a couple things, and then we'll pass it to Michelle, and then I want to go back, just again, kind of like taking a little bit of time here to just like see if we can just like focus a little bit about like EMF education, and again, like why that's important, you know, like no Siri. Oh, oh, thanks, Siri. Okay,
yeah.
Siri's jumping in on this. She's like, here, let me tell you about EMF education. Okay, that was weird. But did you guys hear that? I don't know if you heard. Yeah. Anyways, again, you know, like talking about things that are important for us as leaders and us as like global citizens. Last week we were talking about the Amazon rainforest fires, which again affects all of us in multiple ways, and so naturally a lot of people have heard about 5G, and I think like again, like should something of that scale be given like the same attention in the same way that we are giving the Amazon rainfires that attention? And I would say that yeah, there's a conversation there that's worth having. So like I said, I want to get into that a little bit later, just to kind of like give like a little bit of a bookend to what we're just talking about here. I do want to be able to invite you to let people know about your website so they can be able to connect with you, and we'll post that into the information on YouTube. Plus, I wanted to be able to let people know that Brandon and I were chatting earlier, and we were actually going to do a special giveaway later in the broadcast for those of us who are interested. And I also wanted to just kind of like ask you, like on a personal level, like why do you feel like so like called to being able to like learn more about this and to create these devices and to be able to share them with other people. Can you explain that? Can you explain like what within you kind of like feels that natural call to kind of like create and learn more about this?
Yeah, back this is shortly after my son was born. I started having, I guess, what you can call like a Kundalini awakening or something. I was having these really interesting energy downloads I could not explain, and they would like drop me to my knees and put me into tears. And anyways, when I looked into that, I stumbled upon being an indigo child, and that really resonated with me. I'm like, okay, this is my purpose. And at that time, I was making orgone devices, and I'm just like, my soul was telling me on a deep level, like, this is a way that you can help the world. You have the ability, you have the knowledge, you have the know-how, you're learning the trades to be able to create these devices. And and when I looked out there in the world, I didn't see enough of it happening. And so I'm like, man, this is it. This is what I need to be doing. And it was more so just like my inner self, my higher self, I guess, reaching out to me and telling me like, this is what you need to do. And it wasn't just a specific person, that I talked to or anything like that. It was just, it was a lot. I was working a lot back then, and I had a lot of time to just think to myself and sit with myself. And ultimately that's what it came down to. And then also finding out, of course, that the problems do exist. 4G, 5G, the cell phone networks being detrimental to our well-being and to life and existence, and knowing that this is a way to help mitigate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, kind of going back to what I was talking about, like as not even just entrepreneurs, but as like I guess again, light workers, light guardians, people who are here to be able to help make a difference. A big part of our motivation will often come from us observing the problems, because if there weren't problems, then we wouldn't have a call to action. But the fact that we're just like, okay, like what's missing here? Like, oh, okay, like protection from electromagnetic fields and education about how they're affecting our body on a molecular level and like messing up our DNA in ways that we don't fully understand. And essentially like how again, we'll get to it a little bit later, but like it's kind of scary, but like in a way that needs to be addressed, because we should be scared about it, because that's going to kind of like propel us into action again. It's kind of it's a weird thing to think about the idea that in even just like one generation from now, we're going to be seeing the ramifications of all those hours that we spent with our cell phone on our chest and our cell phones on our head and our Bluetooth on our brain and and like our phones in our pocket, neuralizing our junk and stuff like that. Like, dude, it's crazy, right? And it's one of those things that like we don't see the impact right away, and god damn it, we as humans are so freaking stubborn that unless someone can like literally show us right now that this is causing me harm, we're just like, yeah, whatever, like I don't care what. It's not, I got more important things to do. But like it takes in conversations like these to again just start sparking the education, so that again people are gonna, and we're not asking them to like drastically change their lifestyle, but maybe it means like not having your phone on your chest when you fall asleep at night. Maybe it means not putting it in your pocket. Maybe it means like putting it outside the room. Or again, maybe it means doing more of your own research into EMF protection as well. So again, I think that's definitely something that we need to be able to have more conversations about. And again, kind of going back to the question I was asking in general, like what is needed by us as leaders? Like we need to be doing research. We need to be able to find ways to like help support our health so that we can continue to show up in the long run, because last thing we need is like us getting zapped by EMFs, and then we won't be able to have awesome dance parties anymore. So we should be having awesome dance parties like where there aren't any EMFs, out in the field and connecting with nature and everything. Like the natural electromagnetic frequencies of the earth is what we should really be paying attention to. So Brendon, I appreciate you again being on here, and for those of you who want to be able to connect to his work, and I want to be able to just like pass it to you one more time to give you a chance to like show some of your pendants on air. You can check it at alchemistartisan.com, and again, I'm going to post a link for that into the YouTube chat. and also his Instagram, which is Third Eye Oregon. And for those of you who are watching this on Facebook, be sure to follow on YouTube. Go over to youtube.com/Skull Babylon. You can jump in the YouTube chats, and we'll even read your comments live on air as we get further into this discussion. So again, if you're watching this on Facebook right now, I probably am not seeing your comments. Make sure you jump over to YouTube when you get a chance, and be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and tune in for more broadcasts. But yeah, Brendon, just passing it over to you. Any other things you want to note, and then we'll pass it over to Michelle, and we'll hear what she's been up to. And yeah, show us a couple of the pendants, and maybe if you show us what pendant you might be giving away, but then we're going to tell people how they can get it later on in the broadcast. And yeah, anything else related to your work so that more people can connect with it and support it.
Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, for sure. So here's one I've got, and I just recently started making like crystal shape organites. So I really like that. Like I had a client that's like, I really want an organite in the shape of a crystal. So I made this one, and it's got all kinds of neat crystals. It's got a Lemurian crystal point in there that's got a coil. And so sorry about the lighting, but this is like about the best that I can do while I'm here right now. And then for the giveaway that I'm gifting, I got a special mold actually from where do I get those molds? I get them out of the country. But anyway, this one here is the pendant that I'm going to be gifting, and it's got a flower of life that's kind of just imprinted on the face of it. And it's an elixir of, there's probably over 30 different types of rare earth minerals in this piece, as well as a Lemurian crystal point with a coil, as well as shungite, black tourmaline, the elements that naturally will diffuse radiation as well. So not only is it creating life force energy in that potent field, but it's also absorbing and mitigating radiation. So I really just try to combine as much technologies as I possibly can into one, as well as with the sacred geometry. It would be a beautiful gift for somebody that claims it. I know it's going to help them and feel the good vibes, the good juju, and also help with dreams if the dreams are stagnant or negative in nature, or they're just not sleeping. I've had a lot of clients that have been telling me that my work has been helping them, so I'm really grateful for that. And then I also make, of course, just this is one of my like just protective pyramids, and this is just a basic one. It's got all the chakra crystals still, and a lot of brass and black tourmaline and shungite and all that good stuff. And I make these really dense, potent ones like this that aren't nearly as fancy, but a lot more affordable because they don't take me as much time to create them. And this one I just have been having on the go because they're putting them fake trees up everywhere. So.
Cool. Dude, that's awesome, man. So again, the one that's like shaped like the crystal pendant, that's the one that's going to be for the giveaway later in the broadcast.
Shoot, I don't care. I mean, it could be either
whatever
one, really.
Is that it? Whatever you're comfortable with, man. That's cool with you.
Either one's cool. I mean, I really do love the shape of the crystal pendant one, and people.
I like it. Yeah.
Everyone loves these ones, and so you know what? Let's just do this one. That resonates.
Sure. Okay. Cool, man. Cool. And I'm gonna help cover the shipping on that, and we'll make sure that it gets to someone who's definitely gonna be able to, again, not only enjoy it, but hey, also like provide like a dope testimonial about the difference that it's making for them as well. So again, for those of you who are watching this broadcast, this is an opportunity for you to get that pendant for yourself. But stay tuned, because we're gonna tell you how to do that a little bit later in the broadcast. And in the meantime, be sure to connect to Brandon's Instagram if you're on Instagram. I hope you are. At Instagram.com/Third Eye Oregon, and that's third with a number 3 RD_IEYE_Oregon. And again, you can check that in the show notes on YouTube for those of you listening in the future. And again, we're going to be doing another giveaway also for a Shifter Booster Kit, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, we'll get back to you in a little bit. And again, alchemistartisan.com to be able to connect with more of his work there. And again, like as a person who also creates like quest items of all sorts, I really appreciate like the magic that you encode into the tools that you do, because they're not just like practical, but they're also like something that you can put intention to and really have it be something where like this necklace, again, like that's why like for the light guardian crystals, I'm like this necklace is like something that reminds me of the bigger story that we're all connected to, and it becomes like a nexus point for a thought pattern. So yeah, which again you can do with any object, but yeah, objects are cool. Okay, cool. Brendon, anything else you want to share real quick? Any other wisdom that you feel called to share, or just any gratitude? And then we'll pass it over to Michelle.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just really grateful to be here, to be able to share more of my journey. Every one of us, we're all connected, right? And so whether it's something that we share, whether it's a story, I'm sure we all resonate with each other at some point, whether it's, something that's said or what have you. And I'm just grateful to be a part of this and to be able to share my work with the world and to all of you. And yeah, thank you. Appreciate everybody.
Awesome, man. Thank you as well for your work. And yes, more than happy to be able to share the work that you're doing with more people. And again, like not just for the inspiration, but from the practical side so that we can gear ourselves up for the many missions still ahead. So go team. Awesome. Sweet. All right. So with that said, again, reminding everyone to be sure to connect to everyone's profiles that way so you can stay in touch with all the leading members here. And quick plug, if you're watching this broadcast and you're just like, yo, this is awesome, hey, maybe I want to be on air, maybe I got something to share, maybe I want to be like a part of like what we're creating as a team, you can join as a leading member within Paradigm Shift Central by checking out our Patreon and joining on Patreon and supporting at the leading member level, which begins at $11. It's a pay what you wish scale. And again, be sure to check out more information there, and you can also go down to the YouTube and check out more information at becoming a leading member. And again, if you're like a conscious media creator, if you're a creator of any sort, maybe you're new, maybe you're like already established with a YouTube, or again, you're creating art, you're an artisan, and maybe you want to start writing, maybe you want to get into like journalism and things, and again, maybe you just want to be on the broadcast, and be sure to learn more about becoming a leading member, and we will have you on air for future broadcasts, and you'll get all sorts of cool perks like additional access to our team chat as well, plus other cool things. And yeah, again, you also get the discounts through the quest item shop too. So cool. If you have any questions, just DM me at Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram. And with that said, we will pass it over to Michelle, who is ever so patiently excited to be able to share what she's been up to. And again, Michelle was here last broadcast, and we were getting into some pretty important discussions about the rainforest. And since then, she published her shift entry, which again was a beautiful prayer song, like meditation. It was really cool. So again, I really encourage people to go check that out afterwards. And other than that, I don't know what updates she might have for us, but I'm sure she'll just be able to kind of like take a breath and be like, this is what the universe has for me to say to you, or something like that. That's usually how it works. Anyways, Michelle, happy to have you back when you're ready.
I'm good.
Passing the talking stick over to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am a little lethargic. I'm like sleepy girl, so there's that part of me right now. So I don't know how
yeah.
universe will come through, but I think my cat is prowling, so you might hear some meows. Yeah, come on. Okay, so I've learned so much from the two other people that are on tonight, and I just wanted to say thank you for that, because it's interesting to we all like go through life like think, I don't know if it's the ego or age or what it is, but like it's like we know things, you go around thinking like you're full, and then like you come on and you listen, you're like, and Arianna goes on, I'm like, oh, that's really beautiful, wow, I love that, oh, she does it this, oh cool, I love how the way she's like talking about her business and it's very authoritative. And then the next one, and he's like, I am like a multi-dimensional sorcerer from the past, but this lifetime I'm working with subtle energy. And then I'm like, oh, I work with subtle energy. That's cool, and like we have that in common. And I wish people talked about that more often. And then I'm thinking, I don't study enough, like I'm not studying the ins and outs of subtle energy. I should read a lot more on that, because it's multidimensional, but it's such a it's such like a deep yogic, like I wish that I was just spending my days like studying the Vedas, and like reading these ancient scriptures of like how the actual subtle body works. And I've written things about the koshas and like all of the invisible sheets and the layers, and how that we're supposed to work as like this fully multidimensional being. But at the same time, I get caught up in like Instagram and making a video about the Amazon, and like organizing my life and my bills, like Brendon's been talking about. It's just so funny how we have this dharma, but then we have to juggle like our actual human like world, and then the world's, and then on one level the world's falling apart. And then so to segue, something that I really am grateful for is my video prayer. So that prayer came out of me on that morning that everybody woke up, and it was kind of like, it wasn't as devastating as like a 9/11, but it was a thing that woke up in the collective consciousness where everybody was like devastated about this event that had happened, and we were all focused on it, we were all aware about it.
And I was in a co-working space in San Antonio where I've recently moved, and I go into the room with that I'm doing recording, like they have a podcast room, and that's what comes out of me is the audio that you hear is like, it's me. I sing a mantra because that's what I do. That's how I work with the sound healing. And that mantra, I know what it means. And I say what's on my heart. I speak on my heart. And what's really cool that I feel like I tapped into unknowingly is something about our light worker, our people are, what do I want to say? The Rainbow Warriors, like who it's for, the people who are the pillars of the new wave of consciousness community, are speaking very vividly now. Like a few of us I've heard talking about how we have to have hope, and we have to know that there's a purposeful energy. Kai Pacha's Pele report, the astrologer that I listened to, New Paradigm Astrology, like new paradigm, right? So it's like new thought. He said the whole thing in his Pele report. He didn't even talk about the Amazon, but the Pele report was about how everything that's happening is supposed to happen. Oh, I just got a new subscriber on YouTube notification, which never happens. Number one, so that's like a very rare thing. But
that's because I just posted like in the YouTube chat. I'm like, everyone like go like Michelle's video and subscribe. So
okay, well,
it's literally happening.
But guess what? It's 111 balance is the person who did it. So I just got 1111 as
right. Yeah.
So that was so cool. And number one, I didn't even know that my computer tells me when I get new subscribers. That's never happened before.
Surprise.
So all of that, and then it was just like 111. But so I got an email by like Commune, like another place in Topanga Canyon, who's like they do conscious media and workshops and stuff like that. And they were saying another article about like finding hope, in this time of Amazon. And people were writing posts about how devastated they are. So more than anything, what I'm so grateful for is that I tapped into, this is how we reconcile. And that's what the message is. And so I'll go into that for a bit. So the message was this mantra, this prayer that I sang, I spoke, I called in, it means that spiritually, no matter how decimated, death can happen. On a physical level, we are like, death is something going to go away. That is something negative. On the infinite level, all things are infinite. Things pass and things go, and worlds come and they go, and Shiva opens his eyes and blinks his eyes, and 10 million universes have been created and destroyed. And on one level, right, that is like the holistic prayer of truth. That is a consciousness that we can carry and tap into. I believe that's very true. I have this deep, like the gentleman before me was Brendon was speaking about being an Aquarius. I have a Pisces moon, and my Neptune and is on my ascendant. So I have like a lot of Pisces. I have a million things in the 12th house. That's all the infinite, right? Like my consciousness understands what being eternal is. Like I get that. And so so there's that. Rest of the world doesn't run that way. The rest of the world, the milk spills, it's the worst thing. My ratings go down. It's the end of the world. Things that are impermanent seem like travesties. And this is a planet that is a glorious, I want to call it a garden, but that even seems finite. It is a universe. It is a sanctuary that we are able to inhabit and worship on and make love on and eat the food of. And it's really, Gaia is a consciousness, and a guardian, and to be like, there's so much humility and reverence that I have in my relationship to what Mother Earth is as a force. And a big part of my journey has been plant medicine and ayahuasca, which is literally like speaking with the spirit of the divine feminine. And it's not from a place of like airy fairy reverence. I mean, she will kick your ass, just like bitch slap you, it's not, the divine mother is like not to be messed with. And so it's not that I'm like just a, all follower. I've seen like both sides, and still I know like we are called to protect no matter what. That's what being a warrior is, and a warrior of the light is, I have reverence and I will defend. And that's what the people who live in the Amazon know. In their bones, their blood bone, and their being, they are called to be guardians of the earth, to sacrifice their own lives for the behalf of the whole. And that is what our consciousness currently is missing right now. They take for themselves and their own, and have no concept of this eternal world that is true. And that's also okay, and they're not our enemy, which is what we were talking about on the podcast before. Like Brendon really made this really cool point about, like, it's not us versus them, 100,000%.
Right. Yeah.
So it
It's
was
all us.
really, so yeah, it's all us, and that's
It's
the
us
mantra.
versus the problem. Yeah.
It's us, like, and that's this paradox. And what was so cool was when I started to share the video with people who are in my tribe, they got it on the dual levels of consciousness. They got it on, like, yeah, spiritually, I feel better because it's not a devastation, because it's going to be okay. It's all okay. And, you know, I need to do this conscious action in one step at a time, and we're changing the world as we are. And it
Right.
makes it okay. And I literally, like, last week, which is the medicine, right? Like, I created this it took exactly 1 week for it to, like, come out, you know, be birthed in the right way. And I didn't know when I started it, I was almost afraid. Yeah, hello, cat, dog. I saw a dog and a cat. I got a cat. That was cool. I was almost afraid because I was listening to my vocal that came out, and I was like, nobody's going to get this. I'm going to get attacked because people are going to be like, oh, it's all perfect, airy fairy. And I was hearing language on our podcast last time that was very spiritual bypassy, in my humble opinion, no judgment, but it invoked the activist in me, which is new and practical in a different way than I've been in my past years. That says, you know, and that's what I put in the video as like words.
Yes.
I said, have faith, but take conscious action. You know, like, we need to, like, not be on the floors, like, devastated, but we can't be like, oh, all yoga will cure it.
Yeah,
Like,
just be like sitting back and be like, oh, spirit's got it. It's got it. It's like, no, it's meeting the universe halfway.
100%. And the last
knowing
thing I
that it
do,
comes through,
which I think is so trippy, just to see this come out of me, because it's like when people say, I would have never thought that I'd be doing this. The thing that I wrote was like, we need to elect conscious leadership. And I wrote, elect true leadership. We need to elect conscious leaders that put integrity before profit. I think it was integrity before profit, and everything I just spoke about. I don't know what the actual words were. The good before the whole, and protect the rights of the remaining indigenous people on this freaking planet. You know, I mean, we've already decimated a lot of the it's like, let's salvage and save and honor and revere. And, like, have we learned nothing? You know, like, let that flourish. And we need to elect leadership that is of that, because everything that I was reading was really strong, that the corporations and the companies and the cattle and the money and the oil was the sabotage that was actually happening, and we need to change that. That's inexcusable, in my opinion, now. So it was beautiful. I'm noticing a change in myself, the way that I am operating with the world. And I've seen this in the women that I've looked up to, like my Sean Corn yoga teacher, who's a total activist, Marianne Williamson, and it wasn't in me. It, like, the chip didn't turn on or something. My genetic code for, like, standing up in power, like, wasn't there yet. And now it's like that mama fire has, like, come, and I am like, I will protect, and I will say what is the truth. And maybe it's the vocal empowerment coaching that I've been doing. It's just like, all of a sudden I'm like, I will stand for that, you know?
Oh my God. I just had, like, this vision of, like, that scene from Lord of the Rings with, like, Galadriel, when she, like, goes, like, all like kind of like dark, like, princess, like, dark queen kind of thing. And it's like, dare you like, go blah, blah. I forget what she says, right? But, like, your voice, I could see you kind of, like, carrying that would, like,
100%.
Like, you could, like, show up and it would, like, shake some businessman to his core, and he'd be like, oh God, like, I'm sorry, like, I'll learn or something like that. Like, you could show up in someone's dream like that and scare the shift out of them. So
amen. Yeah. And I don't know if I want to go around, like, let's knock on wood about the dream showing up, because that's a real thing that can happen. Is that means I'd be astrally doing things, and I need actually some organite to sleep better. So I was actually gonna look for that, because because actually, no joke, well, I really love her, by the way, the ancient elf. Oh my God. But when I lived in Boulder, all of a sudden Boulder has a high vibration frequency. Like, the frequency of Boulder is like, and since then it's scrambled, like, my sleep channels. It is like, and
That's what it's like.
it seriously is. That's why everybody there is like,
Yes.
I'm new age. But anyway, no, I'm not judging. But it was like,
Absolutely.
it's very like,
Definitely.
because it's a third eye opening place. Like that's why it's so awesome. But it's also, if your third eye's open, then you're just like going around like, you know, like my poor adrenals and my crown chakra. So since then, I haven't been able to like sleep the same as I was. So I wonder if like there's something that I can like I don't want to wear a tinfoil hat or anything, but you know what I'm saying, like to like
We gotta get you like a custom like headpiece with sort of like an orgonite on the third eye or something
yeah,
like that. Yeah,
an
Michelle,
outfit.
I don't want to cut you off, but I actually
But
kind
cut
of
me
want
off.
you. I
Cut
want
me off.
no. I'm setting. I want to set you up for an assist to pass it over to Arianna because I want like because I know like I can I don't know if you've been like seeing like the entire time you've been talking she's just been like and like totally just like taking it in. So I just
Cool.
wanted to like give you guys a chance to and just Ariana to like kind of like riff off each other just as practice and see like what spirit has to say through that. But yeah, like one thing I was just gonna say, like going back to again like the Amazon, like I feel like out of this, like you know, let's flash forward like a year from now and let's say like, oh yeah, remember that time when the Amazon thing happened, but now like politicians and governments are like are held to much more accountability and responsibility and things have changed and stuff like that, and to actually like have that foresight of the future in the present moment for like future events that still happen. So like in the way that we can actually apply the same metaphor to immediate things within our life that might be their own Amazon rainforest event, and essentially just be like ooh, catalysts, you know. It's just like essentially it's just like you see something that looks like it's bad in a sense, but then you're just like, ooh, catalyst, like that's a catalyst, yay, like let's see where this is going. But then not only to just like expect it to get there on its own, but to expect it to be a call to action to be able to like help you assist in like guiding the events towards that future. Because again, like in every reality there's the reality where we can drop the ball. Like that is the nature of this matrix, is like we have the free will to just be like meh sort of thing, but like again within our hearts doing that doesn't feel right. And that's where like we'll always have that voice in the back of our head and just be like, you can be doing something, therefore you should be doing something. And I think like that's kind of like the mindset that we as light workers really have to like listen to. It's like seriously, that like if you can help the world, you should help the world, right? Otherwise like there's just going to be a part of you that's just going to be like, I feel bad and I don't know why, but you do know why, you're just not listening. And so again, we're just kind of like being an amplification of that inner voice. But anyways, Michelle, just kind of with what you were saying, if there's more that you kind of want to just say, and then like let's just kind of, if Ariana, and then again if Brandon wants to add in as well, and then we'll kind of just like segue things. And I think we're almost at the top of the hour, so that's okay though. But yeah, Michelle, any other spirit wisdom coming through you?
Ooh, okay. Well, now I have to listen. I was gonna say no, but
Right,
yeah,
just listen, just be like, ooh, what's okay.
yeah. The first thing that's coming, the gentleman who helped me with the video, Bruce, who actually he did the music, the piano, and we were in a band together in Boulder, and it's just what you're talking about with people feeling so grateful to help. You know, it's like we couldn't have done that without the other in such an amplified way. Like he brought it to life by like providing this footage for me and playing the piano so gorgeously and giving me encouragement when I was like, oh, it's not going well, or oh, this isn't the right thing, you know. And then all of a sudden it's like he kept sending me like articles, you know, about like people about the Amazon, and there was like a couple that were, I don't remember what it exactly was about. This is the tired happening, but they were like these very specific articles that like I it was like food where I was like, okay, keep going, you know, because it took its energy to create, you know, and like I said, we're juggling our whole lives, and it's really beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool, sweet. Well, yeah, because again, I wanted to, like, Ariana wasn't here last week, and we did have, again, some pretty relevant conversations about the rainforest. And again, now it's a week later, so the conversation is going to be a little bit different. And I wanted to be able to just, like, pass it over to her. And it just even in response to anything Michelle was saying, any gratitude. Again, we're just riffing it. We're just letting spirit kind of pass the ball around here. So, Ariana, anything you would like to share?
Oh yeah, just so much gratitude, Michelle. Just every word out of your mouth. I'm like, yes, yes. And it reminded me, talking about this, actually standing up. This is something that a lot of people, when they first get into this like good vibes only thing, they think, you kind of put your head in the sand, and there's a little bit of misunderstanding with that. But I really agree with this, embodying peace, radiating it out, and knowing when to take up the sword, knowing when we need to be that warrior. It reminds me of one of my favorite songs by Nako and Medicine for the People, Warrior People. Oh, just love that. Like, so yes, all of this, thank you, makes me feel, yeah, it's been rough, but yeah, remembering that this is our power, and if we can speak up, if we can do something, we should. So thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, cool, sweet. And yeah, so I wanted to just check in, Brandon, any response or anything in reply to Michelle was talking about, or even just like any gratitude, and just kind of like,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I totally love your energy. Right on with you. We find that balance between being.
Can you move a little bit closer to your phone mic if you're able to do that? Does that work?
Yeah. Can you hear me a little
better?
That's
better.
Yeah. All right. So totally love your energy, Michelle. I can resonate on so many levels, because we have, it's finding like a balance between being that light warrior that's like still loving and giving and supportive to all those around us, but also knowing when to take a stand. And that's been a huge challenge in my life. So like just hearing it from you, and just like your courage, I can just feel that radiating from you during this time. And like I think that there's a lot of shifting going on within all of us, and we're kind of coming to our full potentials, like in this world, in this shift. And so I see that in you. I see that in you, Arianna, and in Brendon, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this. So thank you all for sharing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you as well. And again, thank you, a special shout out to everybody listening to this as well. Like, I just want to be able to take a moment here and just kind of like reflect on like what people get when they tune into this broadcast. For a lot of people, maybe they don't have like-minded, like-hearted people that they know in person. So this is really, really important for some people to just be able to like sit on their bed and just kind of be like holding their phone and being like listening to us and just being like, oh my God, like I feel like this is my family, like these are my friends, this is my tribe. And so again, I really acknowledge the fact that like for the people listening to this, it's really valuable just to be like in the company of like-hearted people with the intention of shared inspiration, shared creation, shared motivation, and really just like continuing to like check in, document what our story is what is happening within our story, but then like really paying attention to where does our story unfold next, like how do we move it forward. So again, like that's part of my role as the curator for this, as a facilitator, as a director, is to like really help us like hone in on what story are we moving forward with. And again, what do we need to do? What is needed by us as leaders? So I wanted to be able to go into, again, like similar, just kind of branching off like the Amazon, and then I want to talk a bit about like 5G, because again, like that in itself, if we're literally taking the same concept in mind for the Amazon, we can either just kind of be like, oh my God, like this is the worst thing ever, ... let's use this as a catalyst to be able to like bring ourselves into action, educate people on important things that they need to know that are going to help them live a more healthy life, and give them the tools to be able to empower them and give them the education so that they can pass this on to others, so that we can start changing the things, like again, from the grassroots level. So but yeah, I kind of wanted to check in and just go around the circle real quick before we jump into that, on just kind of inviting, like I want to ask each one of you here, what is needed right now, like this week, today, moving forward. And again, this is going to kind of change, like again, like even just paying attention to like where are we right now, like be like, okay, like new moon and everything like that, that's kind of where we are. What do we need to keep in mind right now? What energies are we playing with? What energies are supporting us right now? So I kind of want to just put that question out there, again, with the idea of it just being practice, and for us to be able to bring forth a message for ourselves, for the listeners, for the community. What is needed right now as leaders, as light guardians, as shifters? Michelle, I want to pass it over to you first.
Okay, I got a big hit on this, so this is cool, because I've been actually thinking about this all day. I've noticed two synchronicities in my immediate circle of two people going through health crises. crises. And we're in a Virgo time right now. And so Virgo is the sign of healing and health and energy. So if people are getting sick or having that happen in their own family, to kind of just keep in mind that this is the time for that to happen. So again, it's looking at this kind of these patterns of energy in the macrocosm, because if you look at it in a finite way, it can be like, oh, it's devastating. And then if it's like, actually, this is the time for cleansing. So like that is appropriate right now. The other thing is
sorry, can I just like, I just want to get clarity on that. So like right now, if there's like health things that are coming up, that's actually probably not just
because the sun's in Virgo, and so Virgo is the sign of health and healing. And so it's like the healer archetype. So that's actually,
yeah, no, that's weird. Like there's been some like stuff that's popped up in a couple of my friends, even within myself, that's just kind of be like, what? Like I've been healthy, and then suddenly something popped up, and I'm like, what's happening here?
It's a cleansing. So that's also the part of Virgo energy. Also is like, it's like purification. Is the medicine of Virgo. And
so
yeah.
So for anybody who like may be going through like, you know, like slight hiccups in their health stuff right now, what should they keep in mind?
Well, hold on. To pay attention to whatever like these underlying causes of it, like what is also aggravating or agitating you like simultaneously, while there's this inner, because it's a purge, right? And there's also, I think it's just a really good time. My friend said this really beautiful thing. It's a good time to listen to what is necessary to let go of. So just keep that in mind of like, hold on one second. I want to say one more thing. Yeah. And also to clean up your inner space, to clean up your act, and to like, as we purify, it's like a really good time to like whittle down the energy and be very conscious of your inner space and your environment, and like do less. You know, it's a really good time to like actually do less and clear space. And then from that, those shifts and those changes and those next steps like happen. And then you're like, oh, I'm letting go of this habit, or I'm letting go of that habit. And then my space is cleaner and clearer. And then health is restored. The other part that I want to say is we're going into fall. Go ahead, so right now we're closing the summer and we're going into fall. So that's another really important transition to be mindful of, is that at the end, a month from now, we're going to be going into the equinox of fall. So it'll be the rebalancing of the light and the dark. So it's another time to meet in the tantric polar opposites, and they're harmonizing and they're becoming one. And then that's going to set intentions and seeds for the next 3-month cycle, which will take us to the winter solstice. Also, it's the end of the year, and so there's it's trippy because it's actually the beginning of the year in the lunar calendar with Rosh Hashanah. So like we're birthing a new energy that will take us into 2020. But also you have to think of like we're also closing this cycle of 2019, and then eventually going into like the dark of winter. So so just be mindful of that as we're wrapping things up and then like birthing new things. It's always like this duality between like seeding new cycles and then ending, like just like the moon with the new moon in Virgo. So yeah, I'll let somebody else take it. I haven't researched this particular new moon and like what planets are it's like what planets it's aspecting. But my thoughts inwardly today were like, oh, we're coming up. There's such a shift. September, October, November, December. It's like that closing of the year. It's rich time, and it goes by very quickly, and it's very potent. And so I think it's important because we get so caught up in summer, and summer is so vibrant and active and fiery in the Northern Hemisphere. And that I think we forget to like be aware of like what's coming, you know, and what we're going to, so I'm saying to prepare for the fall and to like recognize and like let go of these things. And yes, if you're dealing with a health consciousness or a crisis right now, just to like focus on that. So.
Yeah, and I did just kind of want to just like some thoughts that are coming through going back to the health thing again. I think like now, again, going back to the question like what is needed, now is a very important time to like pay attention to like what are the stressors within this reality, and like how can we resolve them, how can we let go of certain things, again, how can we change our environment, because again, this is for us listening and, you know, part of this discussion, a lot of us are quite familiar with the idea that, you know, physical ailments are like secondary to like the energetic things that are like out of alignment. So like if something physical is happening, that means like something energetically is also like what needs to be treated. And so just concentrating on the physical is kind of just like putting a band-aid on it until you kind of like pay attention to the energetic level as well. So yeah, like I would just really pay attention and invite everyone to just be like, yeah, like where can you like what can you do to really bring yourself into like that optimized state of efficiency, meaning what can you do to be able to like remove things that may be stressing you, or just remove change the relationships with things that may be stressing you as well. And I did just want to, because I was reminded of it, also give a shout out our friend Louis, who was here last broadcast. Michelle knows them, plus anybody else who's tuned in for this. He would have been here tonight, but he actually just had like a surgery done on, I think it was his knees. Like it was like, and this was something that he had been planning for a while because it was like a previous injury and stuff like that. But anyways, I just wanted to send him some good vibes and pass on his love to everybody in the circle, and allow us to just kind of send him good vibes. And again, it just kind of going back to the idea, it's just like for him to have like some sort of like health thing going on right now is definitely like probably just again reflecting the alignment and stuff like that. So but yeah, I think Michelle, I think that definitely like is very relevant. I'm sure everybody can relate to that. So for anybody, yeah, if you're pay attention to your health right now and put your health as priority, make sure that you're doing that, and make sure that you're like working on clearing things up on an energetic level as well. And who wants to go next, Arianna or Brandon, in terms of just reflecting on the question, what is needed? And then we'll get into the 5G stuff, and then we'll get pretty close to wrapping this up. And again, trying to keep this broadcast under 90 minutes, but it might be a little bit longer, but that's okay. Arianna, did you want to go next, or Brandon? Arianna? Okay.
Hi, first of all, that just confirmed so much for me. I've been really dipping my toes into astrology lately, and everything Michelle just said, it's like, it's such a fascinating subject, and it's just, oh, all this stuff I've been feeling. No wonder all of my friends are going through the same thing at the same time, experiencing it in different ways. But I was actually just thinking before you asked that question, what is needed, I was just remembering what I've been told in vision and in channeling, what I'm supposed to help people with, is helping people connect to their source energy. That's what I do in my meditation classes. This is something that sort of coalesced for me after years of study and learning about different topics and different healers. It all clicked together, and I realized, oh, this is how I heal myself. This is how I focus and create the most change in the world. It's really, sending down that grounding cord to the middle of the earth, getting that ooey gooey mama love energy flowing back up into your body, and let it move all the way through the chakras, all the way out into the cosmos, wherever you like to connect, drawing that divine cosmic energy down into your body and allowing them to swirl in your heart. And then once you feel those energies filling you from above and below constantly, you allow that energy in your heart to expand, filling the cells of your body with this healing, with this endless supply that we have from source, and then trying to live in that expanded state. So sending that energy out beyond our homes, beyond our communities, beyond the country, beyond the world. And I like to go actually past the moon as well, and just live in that like loving, expanded energy. And from that state, we're able to affect so much more change. We're able to relate to each other more. That's how I go, and I do distance energy work there. Like I like walk into your room and check out your chakras while we're in that space, because we're all here together. And so just remembering that we all have that constantly. We just have to remember to tap in. So yeah, that's what's needed for me right now, and I tell everybody to do that.
Awesome. I dig it. Beautiful. Cool. All right, let's keep bouncing around. Thank you, Arianna. And again, for anybody who's again just in the YouTube chat, or if you're on Facebook, please feel free to leave your comments. Let us know how this resonates with you. Add in your insights. Asking you, the YouTube audience, what is needed right now. Please feel free to leave your comments, and we'll add those into the discussion as well.
Michelle, for your channeling there, because a lot of things came out. Man, it explains a lot with what happened with me the last like 4 days and what I've been going through and everything. So what's needed from us, yes, to really just concentrate on our self-love practices. I mean, it's been, the energies have been really crazy all up and down. And I'll tell you what, I love Pisces energy. There's a couple Pisces that have been in my life in the last like 3 years, and I just love how like in tune you are to the energies, because they've helped me also reflect on myself and what I can work on, what I can be working on. And goodness, geez, like I don't have to get into detail of what I'm. One thing that's really actually helped me a lot in these energetic shifts and in keeping myself of a higher vibration to start my days. And I'm up pretty early, usually like 5 to 6 a.m. I'm up, and anyway, like it's my gratitude prayers. So I'll do like different mantras and meditations and stuff and breath work in the morning, but like I always try to begin with a gratitude prayer, and I'll just name off a lot of things, like everything that I can think of that I'm grateful for. Waking up, right? Every breath that I take, and the power of creation within each, and just everybody that supports me and the planet, and even everybody that doesn't support me on the planet. I send them love, because it's like, ultimately forgiveness and coming to like to terms and letting go, and coming and just and releasing any kind of feeling, either from oneself or from somebody towards you, and replacing that feeling with a feeling of gratitude and love, is so powerful and potent, and it increases your frequency just immediately. And so when you raise your frequency to that point, to that very very high vibration, then it makes your prayer work after that much more effective and potent to start your day. So that's just something that I use as a technique. There's certain mantras that I use as well. One of them is Om Shreem Hreem Kreem Glam Gam Ganapataye Varavarada Sarada Janame Vashamanaye Swaha. And that's a very powerful one that really, like, it asks the universe to give you a boost in like your ability in this life to manifest and to like carry out your destiny. That's kind of like a quick explanation of it. But anyway, it's one of my
That's pretty
favorite
cool.
ones. And I use that, and that's basically what I have to add to this. So thank you.
Cool. Does your dog have anything to add? It
Um,
seems like they
she'd love
do.
to
They're
give.
just kind of like
She's
squeezing in. Dog
she.
wisdom. Channel your dog's wisdom right now. Go ahead.
What are you trying to tell me, Marley? She's like, Dad, we've been in the car for 3 hours, man. I don't know. She's just a lover, man. I love her to death. She's been a huge teacher. A dog is God backwards, and so they're just unconditional love, and they teach you. And I have two cats as well. They're my protectors, my spirit protectors, and they're not here with me, of course. They're up on the mountain right now. But this one here, she just teaches me patience, and a lot of gifts have come from this face right here, from this one. Yeah. So,
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Marley, and thank you, Brandon, as well.
yeah.
How can you not love that face? That's funny. Cool. All right, that are available, and also to be able to again develop the discipline, develop the routines, and to become clear on what our goals are. I think that would be something that I would really encourage everyone to do, is like write down your goals. Practice journaling more, practice your morning routines, start looking at like where you might be able to do some more networking, because there are people out there who would love to meet you. Maybe there's some events that you want to be able to go to. What can you do to be able to expand your branches while at the same time nurturing your roots, and understanding that there's an order to that. You can kind of do both at the same time, but make sure you're really taking care of your roots, and make sure you're not expanding your branches so far without taking care of your roots. So definitely finding the as above so below balance within that is something that I would really recommend and encourage people to do. And yeah, and as I just said, like getting clear on your goals, and really reflecting on like, what are the things that I can do that nobody else can do, like figuring out what are you here to do, what is your nature, and I've talked about this before, but it's a very simple thing where it's like, for me, like I'm constantly learning how to be a better Brendon, how to be the best Brendon that I can be. And what does a Brendon do? It's like, oh, as I'm learning, it's like, oh sweet, I'm like creating a lot of value for community, I'm creating like high quality content, I'm creating like these synergy circles, I'm facilitating this community, and like I'm bringing people together and everything like that. And again, like constantly asking myself, like, what can I do to, again, be able to like make a difference, to essentially be able to help accelerate the shift? And so that would be the question. I would encourage you just to kind of reflect on that. Like, what are the little things, the big things, and the meaningful things within your journey that you can do to be able to help accelerate the shift in consciousness? Meaning that if you didn't do something, then things would just go as they were. But if you were to choose to engage yourself into the story on that level, something would shift. Something would make a difference. A conversation would be had with something. A seed would be planted. A heart would be opened. A story would be told. A piece of art would be made. Something would happen that would be able to, again, essentially be like another way to be able to help lead people back to the wisdom of their own heart. And if that's, and that's a thing in itself too. Like, what I've said this before, but I'll say it again, because sometimes people are just like, I don't know what to do. Like, what, like, give me a mission, give me direction. Like, what we are trying to do is helping lead people back to their own heart, lead people back to the wisdom of their own heart. So frame it around that question, and in that, it will probably be able to bring you clarity as to how you can uniquely do that based on who you are, based on your nature. So yeah, again, everyone, just thank you so much. Like, what we are doing is showing up. We are doing it. This is what is needed. Coming together as a community, sharing our story and documenting it together and sending out that signal. The signal is being heard even by those who aren't listening. It's still going out into the field. It's still going out into the matrix. So let us be a hologram for all of those who may not be in this broadcast, but who resonate with the message of it, and those who would value being able to hear it. So again, like, if you're enjoying this broadcast, please feel free to like share it with your friends. Just be like, yo, this is something different. This is something cool. I think you would appreciate this. Go ahead, listen to it now, tune in next week, and use these broadcasts as a way to like to charge your spiritual battery, is a sense, right? Because again, that's the thing. Like, if we try to do things on our own, we only get so far. Not to say we can't make an impact, but there literally is a limit. Whereas, like, we have to come together as community. We have to come together as a team. It's literally designed that way. We can be stubborn as heck and try to do it on our own, but eventually we'll get to a point where it's like, yep, I need help. I need someone else to be able to help me get through this next part. It's like a co-op video game level where you suddenly get to a certain point. And it's like, oh, I need another player to be able to hit that button at the same time I hit this button so that the gates open or something like that, right? So that's what we're here to do. We're be able to, every single week, we come back here Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. to be able to charge your spiritual batteries, to check in, to share our inspiration, and continue to do it for another week. We don't have to wait like months and months. We can literally do this every single week within like the cycles of how time works that way. So yeah, thank you again, everyone, for showing up. Okay, let's check in. We're getting close to 90 minutes. I'm going to push it back to about to an hour and 45, but I want to give us about 10 minutes here to practice talking. Again, keyword practice talking about 5G technology and kind of like educating each other on that, and by the end of the discussion just getting like more of an understanding of what's going on, and again, what we can do to be able to help equip ourselves both with tools and knowledge. And again, this is kind of framed around the idea that this is something that Brendon was talking about earlier. And then by the end of that discussion, we'll also be doing the giveaway for one of Brendon's Organite pieces as well. So definitely stay tuned for that, and follow him on Instagram if you aren't already yet, and I'll post a link for that into the YouTube channel as well. So let's kind of I'm just going to pass it off to Brendon, and again, let's 10 minutes. That's the game that we're playing here. That's the practice. 10 minutes to be able to talk about this, starting now. Brendon, go ahead, start us off. What do we need to know about 5G and how it affects like the bigger picture?
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Brandon. So basically 5G is a beast, and why I say that is it's something that we've never ever experienced as a society. They've kind of worked us up to this point, right? And I made a video probably about a year ago.
Can you explain the very basics of it? Like, say no, like people don't even know what 5G is. Can you literally just tell us like the very basics of it, and then go into the next?
Totally. So 5G is basically a So the typical cell phone signal right now that you're receiving on like a 4G signal is like a 2 to 6 gigahertz maximum of a frequency to your phone. Okay, and that just depends on if you're streaming or not. A 5G signal is a consistent 20 gigahertz signal to your cell phone. So that's a massive increase in radiation that is accompanied to your mobile, your mobile device that's on you and or in your home, depending on how many devices that you have. So that right there is, that's, what, 4 to 6 times the amount of radiation at a given time on your person. And right now, what we know to be a fact is that our current cell phone technology and even earlier on technology with cell phones have caused and also dependent on a daily basis to run our lives. And so it's definitely something that there's a lot more awareness these days that's starting to come out as more people are waking up to the during this shift. They're starting to realize things on his diet. They're realizing that we're frequency based beings. Well, also, we're because we're frequency based beings and we're surrounded by these frequencies. It's that much more important that we're aware of how they affect us. And so what basically causes the issues with these technologies? And briefly here, the 4G signal um, basically works on 50 to 85% water. You're messing with your body on a molecular level with just these frequencies being around you. If you don't have some kind of mitigation tool, there's a lot of mitigation tools out there though that can assist us, like certain rare earth minerals naturally provide negative ions which combat these signals that we're being bombarded by. Himalayan salt lamps are one of those devices. Most of us have those. They're awesome. Why not? And they're beautiful. Orgonite technology, orgone technology, prana devices, different rare earth minerals such as shungite and black tourmaline that can, maybe they're a little sensitive to prana devices. There's a lot of different ways that we can mitigate these signals that were super high speed. It actually affects the way that oxygen molecules are absorbed into your bloodstream at that point, which is a huge thing because that process is how we create vitamin D, and it basically affects the way that the sunlight when we absorb sunlight into our skin, and that conversion process into vitamin D gets disrupted by these frequencies if we don't have protection from it. And everyone is a little different, so I'm not going to say every single one of us is going to be as affected by these technologies, but the risk and the possibility is there. And so this is just more so obviously to bring awareness. How do we combat it? Well, like I said, negative ions are like the quickest, easiest way to protect ourselves. So get your orgonite, get your shungite, get your EMF sleeves. There's a lot of products coming out these days. I myself and so many other beautiful souls out there make devices to help protect you, and to protect your loved ones from these technologies.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so again, so just kind of like adding on to that. So part of the idea is that like 5G as a technology is starting to be rolled out within the United States and eventually even into Canada. And part of it is the idea that like since the frequency is different, they have to like put up these like individual towers like X number of meters. So there's going to be like fake trees that are actually 5G towers put up like every like couple blocks or something like that. So it's kind of like this idea that it's going to be like inescapable, unavoidable. And a big idea behind it is the fact that like the research hasn't fully been done, and yet a lot of it's being the decisions are being made based off of like corporations and money and things like that. And so that, again, it's a legitimate concern. There's a lot of people who are like trying to like take some of these corporations to like court and try and be able to like settle that there, because this does present like a major like global health crisis and everything. And it's one of those things where, again, on the surface, it doesn't seem like it's making a big difference, and we're getting our convenience of our technologies and everything like that. But flash forward like even a year, 5 years, 10 years, and obviously these technologies are affecting us. And again, like even with and this isn't just about like 5G. Again, this is just about EMF awareness and just being able to it kind of, once you kind of become more in tune with your energy, you'll start to notice this. And I think like that's kind of the issue, is that a lot of people who are just kind of like their baseline frequency isn't very sensitive, and so that's why they can wear like a Bluetooth headpiece and it doesn't feel like anything. They don't even feel it. The sensitivity isn't there. I know that like if I'm wearing my Bluetooth headset for like even just like less than like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like I feel it. Like the disciplines of decreasing our extended exposure to these frequencies, be it in 5G form or in any form as well. So again, this means not putting your phone on your chest late at night and just like keeping it there where it's like literally radiating right into your heart. And again, it's like one of those things. It's like it's you got to almost think like it's like what do you value more, your health or the convenience of like watching YouTube videos late at night? And again, it's one of those things that people be like, oh, show me the studies, show me the studies. There are plenty of people who are again like developing tumors and everything like that, and so like this is a very serious thing. But there is hope in the sense that it's also in a way kind of like consciousness, making sure that we don't become like overly dependent on technology and kind of like bringing us back to the importance of being able to like reconnect with nature. And that's why like, oh, it's interesting, we've seen this with social media where as technology kind of increased, there was this peak where it was like everyone's like, yay, like social media, technology, Facebook, excitement and everything like that. And then eventually it got to the point where we kind of got like just like fatigued of it. There's so much of it, and now the cool thing to do is to like disconnect, get back into nature, ground, get your feet in the dirt and start doing that. So I think like for us as individuals, we need to start like talking about that. We need to start having these conversations. We need to start reminding people, seriously, if you see your friend with like even like the new like the Apple like earpod things that come with the iPhones and stuff like that, like seriously, just be like, dude, I'm saying this to a friend as you, like I would seriously reconsider wearing those all day long. Like, because like even though you're not feeling it right now, like there's a good possibility that like 10 years from now you're cutting your life short, and I want you to be here, and I want you to be here for your kids and your family and everything like that. So you got to think about like the long-term story, and we as humans sometimes we have a hard time doing that. We can only see like what's right in front of us. So if we're like with our phone, we don't know that it's radiating and causing all sorts of like ailments and stuff like that, but use your foresight to be able to be like, is this like, just intuitively feel it, like, does this feel right, does this feel like it's good? And so again, that's where like getting like mitigating our overall exposure, super important. Stop standing in front of your microwave, stop using microwaves first of all, and again, just be like aware of that. Make sure that you're connecting with nature. And the other thing, and I want to say this, and I want to get like other insight either from Arianna, Michelle, and even Brandon. I feel like a part of this is also like, again, what can we do? Like, yes, like EMF protection tools, there's a lot of them out there. Brandon's helping make them as well. There's more to that again, I think I encourage people to do their own research on, but also what can we do to naturally like strengthen our own fields as well, I feel is the other side of it. So again, if you're living with like a shitty diet and you're not taking care of yourself, you're probably going to be like more susceptible to these energies. So it's like almost like as you increase your vitality, you can think of it as like increasing like the force field or like the auric field and the strength of it, so that maybe these waves don't affect you. That's just me just kind of assuming that's how probably energy would probably work in this way. So again, that, and Brandon's saying that's the case. So yeah, so again, like, what can you do? Focus on your overall health, vitality, food, diet, connection with nature, overall exposure to these technologies, and start getting protection devices if you haven't already yet, for what it's worth. And tell your friends about it. Talk to your friends about it. Arianna and Michelle, anything else you want to add? And I think we're at like 10 minutes, but we'll just add a couple more minutes on top of that. Arianna, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is so important, and I'm so glad to hear what Brandon has to say about all of this. You know, I've known about this for a while. I can feel it energetically, so I've always been a little bit more aware. But one thing that I've been really trying to help my friends and family and community with is people are addicted to these things. People are addicted to computers or cell phone, and they don't even feel comfortable with the idea of having their phone away from them. So the way that I've been helping is, you know, I teach meditation, I teach mindfulness, and I joke about it. Like, I love going to the DMV and standing in line. I don't need to sit there hunched over on my phone. I can actually keep my eyes up and look around and talk to people, feel the world around me. So I think it's just really important to teach people about mindfulness and just get people aware of the fact that we want to be here in the moment. We don't want to be addicted to these things. We want to reconnect. So reaching out to our family in just way, because it is about love and trying to help people. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Absolutely. There's the connecting conversation here about just our addiction to technology in general. So absolutely. I think, and again, going back to the idea, it's like, let's see this as a catalyst. Let's observe this problem. Let's observe the fact that the solution is the problem. The problem is the solution. They are one and the same, two sides of the same coin. So we can intuitively feel and be like, what does it feel like? What does it feel like to fully immerse ourselves inside of technology and not pay attention to someone, even though they're sitting in the same room with us, because we're too attached to our phone and things like that? Like, let's get back to the roots. Let's get back to nature. Let's get back to meaningful conversations. Let's take our phones and freaking chuck them into a lake for all I care. Seriously. Like, again, it's just like, if there's a way for us to do this without using all of the EMF technology, great, wonderful, awesome. But let's kind of, like, again, see it as a tool, but let's be wise about how we use a tool. Same with fire. Fire can be used to light a torch inside of a dark cavern and keep you warm at night, but at the same time, it could also, like, burn down your house if you're not careful with it. Simple metaphor. Michelle, any thoughts that you would like to add on to this related to, again, just like overall energy dynamics and stuff?
What did you just say? Energy what?
Just like overall energy dynamics, vitality, auric fields, strengthening things, EMFs, 5G.
Well, I wanted to say one thing about the diet thing that I find. It's not only eating bad, and this is, I actually wanted to buy meat today, but I didn't because of the cattle farming in the Amazon. Like, when I eat too many raw fruits and vegetables and I eat like too high frequency of a diet, I also feel very ungrounded. And that's happened to me before. So then sometimes I eat protein to like anchor myself into the 3D reality, and it actually helps me like feel like I'm not so, like when I was making those noises earlier and going bzz, bzz, like it actually. So I wonder if eating grounding foods, like, maybe if it's not meat, like potatoes and things that are in the roots in the earth, would actually help strengthen your field. But to segue to, any, what is it? Any medicine can become a poison or something like that, or if it's too much in the wrong quantity. I feel like that's true. Is that the thing? So that means it's the same thing with this. Like, we all are in different places right now, and we're having this beautiful conscious conversation, and we're meeting through this technology and this vibes. I had no idea about the radiation and the 5G. I had read about it, but what I had read was something about like Russia trying to do it before us, and it was like another Cold War thing. The article I was reading, so I have no idea if that's even valid. But and like who gets it first will like win the internet, forever. And it's really fascinating. To me, it kind of comes back to my stint for the evening, which is like, if we have power in the hands of people who are not using it for the good of sustainability, then then the medicine becomes a poison, right? Or we can have like a really humble way to like use the beauty and the technology and the prosperity that we have on this earth, and with our minds and our human capacity, and like really help each, like, and what's crazy to me, it's just crazy, and maybe it's because we're all rainbow warrior like guardians and whatever, but like, why would you even want to mess it up? Like, why do they want to create things that are harmful? Like, it doesn't even, I know it's for money, maybe they're like, it's money, but like, why would you want to do that? It just, that's the thing that boggles my mind, is like, why wouldn't we want to create it in a good way? And I think that we just need more of that in the world. Like, create it, but create it in a good way. Create it in a way that we all survive. It's really important we all survive and flourish and give to each other. And I'm sure that there's a medicine in this technology, and that's why it's being birthed into the earth and the way. And I'm sure that there are people who are very arrogant about it, who are rushing it and doing it before it's actually fully cooked and distilled into the medicine that it needs to be, and trying to profit on it. And maybe that's the interesting thing. But it's cool that we have different people with different specialities who are paying attention to these things in the way that they are, and then we're all you know, getting educated from each other. So yeah.
Totally. Awesome. Cool. Well, again, I appreciate everybody showing up for this conversation. Again, we're just kind of scratching the surface here, but for everybody listening to this, absolutely educate yourself, learn more about 5G. There are videos on it on the internet, and start like paying attention to it, start telling people about it, and not even just like telling them about it from like a conspiracy fear mongering type idea, but again, like use this as just not even just about 5G, but just about EMF awareness. I think that in itself is really the issue. Like 5G is like the next thing that's going to be coming, but the threats or the concerns are already here. They're literally like in our hands, in our pockets, and things like that. So yeah, really just encouraging everyone to continue the conversation here as well. And I'll pass it over to Brendon just to kind of conclude this discussion with anything else he wants to be able to let people know of, so that they can leave here equipped with knowledge and insight, and any like next moves that they can make. And then from there, we're going to do a giveaway, and then we're going to get close to wrapping up the broadcast. And if anybody wants to lead us into a little like closing gratitude meditation, you can. I want to be able to offer that to Arianna first, since Michelle did it last time. So Arianna, if you want to do something like that. Yes. Okay, cool. Sweet. And yeah, so thank you again, everyone, for sticking around, for being a part of this discussion. And I did just want to go back, because I actually missed this in the YouTube chat. 1111 balance, going back to what is needed, that question. They said what is needed right now is to do our personal best, to know ourselves, and to express ourselves. Absolutely. And they also said the Paulo Coelho quote from The Alchemist, it's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. So absolutely. Thank you again, 1111 balance. Thank you for being here. Wisdom lover, Red Rose, Grace. Thank you again, everybody who is also in the live chat, sharing your gratitude there. Brendon, passing over to you, concluding this discussion that was now 10 minutes. It turned into 20 minutes. Funny how that always happens, but...
Oh, there's so much information, Brandon. I understand.
Oh, I know, right?
Goodness, yeah, it'll take a few podcasts to get through it all, but real quick, so like if you're having trouble with sleeping and you don't have any kind of orgonite to diffuse your phone radiation, just be sure to try to put your phone on airplane mode if you can help it, if you're not expecting any kind of like call or whatnot, and you can get away with doing that, because your cell phone has about a 3-foot range of radiation signal. So as long as your phone's further than 3 feet from you while active, you're okay. But I recommend just not even having it in the room, or having it on airplane mode if it is in the room with you when you're trying to sleep. After all, sleep is very, very important. We spend a third of our lives in the sleep realm. So do not underestimate the importance of your sleep and the quality that you'll get. And then, yeah, just one more thing. These towers have the capability of broadcasting up to 100 gigahertz signals. So I said that your phone's going to receive a 20 gigahertz. Well, they have power supplies to pump out 100 gigahertz signals. So, it's a little crazy there, but I'll save the rest of that information for another podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Brendon, maybe if people are interested, would they be able to like maybe send you a direct message on Instagram if they might have some like individual questions, and just check in with you? Is that cool?
Totally. Please do. Any questions? I love helping out the community and answering any questions that I can. If I don't know, I'll just flat out tell you. I don't know everything. I'm always learning. Just like all of us.
Sweet, man.
So, yep.
Awesome. And dude, I'd love to kind of like follow up on this discussion, and over the coming weeks, let's see if we can work on creating some content that would be kind of framed around this, with like what you need to know about EMF, 5G, and how to be able to like help yourself and protect yourself, and what you can do type thing. So maybe we can put together like a little article about that, and yeah, we can work on that and publish it through the website or something like that. Does that sound cool?
Sounds great.
Get one of the special orgonite pieces that Brendon has made to be able to give away in a special giveaway. So Brendon, go ahead, show us the one that you have on screen for the giveaway, and go ahead. Yeah,
this is a Lemurian crystal shape orgonite that I made, and it's got a Lemurian crystal in there. It's got all the chakra crystals, atomized metals, and it's actually special because I actually put monatomic gold ormus powder in here also. So it's got superconductor material in here. So as far as like potency, probably some of the strongest pendants that I've made were in this batch, and this is one of the lucky ones that is going in the giveaway. So sorry about the lighting. I wish it was a little bit better, but I'm actually in my car, so
you can still see it. And again, like definitely, like I know Joel was actually commenting. I'm gonna go back to his comment. he was actually saying, he's like, heads up everyone, Joel's like a pretty cool intuitive guy. He says his organites, Brandon's, are probably 1,000 times more powerful and create a more massive field than you may perceive. So that was just like Joel's way of kind of expressing gratitude. And again, just like we're going back to what we were talking about, that like it's not just the content that you're using, but it's also like the intention that you're creating it with as well, that is kind of like encoded into it. And yeah, so definitely looking forward to being able to share that. So for everybody here in the YouTube chat, first of all, we want to be able to let you know that you can check out more Brandon's stuff at the alchemistartisan.com, and I'm posting that into the YouTube chat as well. And yeah, maybe like, do you have like any individual discount codes? Would you be able to create discount codes for your shop or something like that?
I can totally do that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So what we want to be able to do here, and it's Organite piece, all you have to do is be the first person to send a direct message to Brandon on his Instagram. And again, his Instagram, we posted into the YouTube chat, is _Oregon, and just be like, hey, I watched you on Paradigm Shift Central broadcast, and I would love to be able to get that piece. And if you're the first person to message him, you will get that piece. And if you're not the first person to message him, then what Brandon can do, and this is what I was talking about, is maybe he can like give you like a special discount code if you're still looking to be able to get something from his shop. Does that work? Does that make sense, Brandon?
It sounds amazing.
Perfect. Yeah. And more than happy to be able to share that with you. And then as a second giveaway, and Brandon, if any message comes through on Instagram before the end of this broadcast, we can give a shout out before the end of it. And again, as a second giveaway, what I want to be able to do is literally propose the exact same thing, but for a shifter booster kit, which again is the laminated free hug signs and all sorts of shift buttons. There would be about like 20 in them. And again, these shift buttons, they're available through questitemshop.com. They have the Paradigm Shift Central website on the rim. Lots of different designs, all consciousness shifting symbolism and imagery on them. Tools to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness where you are. Do free hugs, share these. Those are available, as I said, through questitemshop.com. But as a special giveaway, I want to be able to offer a shifter booster kit to the first person who messages me on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man. So I'm going to post that into the YouTube chat as well. And again, literally the exact same thing. If you're not the first person to message me, I'm still going to be able to give you a discount code for the item shot. Actually, I'll do it even better. I'll give you a credit, like it, so it won't even be a discount. I'll give you like an actual like credit value towards the shop. So like that way you can like use that to be able to order something for yourself down the road. So there you go. All you gotta do is be the first person to send me a message to Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram to be able to claim your shifter booster kit. And hey, if you like get it, maybe you want to send it to a friend. Maybe it won't even be for you. You can let me know where you want to mail it, and maybe you even want to like add more stuff to it. Again, maybe you want to be able to like add a light guardian crystal to it. And again, like these, man, if these light guardian crystals, if we could like turn it, if we could make these like EMF protectors too, that would be next level. Like I don't know if there's like any logistical way to just assume that crystals in themselves, quartz crystals, are EMF protectors. I don't know, Brandon, does quartz by itself have any sort of like effect? Something?
So yeah, like there's no harm in that. I love crystals, like abundance of them around at all times, because I'm a firm believer that they do, you know. So
yeah, that might be the next step of like evolving the light guardian crystals. If I can figure out a way to like encode like some sort of like EMF protection into these, dude, I'd totally be open to that. Maybe we can brainstorm something there. There might be a way to like manufacture like a light guardian crystal 2.0 out of that. So again, for the light guardian crystals, if anybody's looking to get one of those are available through questitemshop.com, and also they are available as a free gift for those of you who are signing up for the monthly shifter booster kits through my Patreon at patreon.com/Brendon Culleton. And again, I would love to be able to invite people to be able to sign up for the Patreon even during the end end of this broadcast or after you finish watching this broadcast, or again before September 1st. Otherwise, you have to wait until the beginning of October is when the next donations will go through for that. But you can always order the items individually, and if you subscribe to our newsletter, then you will also get discount codes for the shop there as well. And again, part of I'm going to be doing a lot more giveaways in the future. Like I said, I want to move into this space where like we're really focusing on giving, and I want to be able to like have funds set aside in the community where it would literally just be like a pool of shift buttons that people can just be like, hey, can I like get some for an order, and we'll just be able to send them to them, and that'll be like something like super awesome for the community. So again, light guardian crystals, super awesome tools. And again, these are like used for like meditation. They're used as like little like assassin blades, cha for like fighting like, I don't know, like space aliens or something. No, I'm just showing you. Those are the good guys. But anyways, these are super cool, so I'm more than happy to be able to share those with you. And these are encoded with a lot of intention, and they're part of a bigger story, and they're basically like mini Excaliburs and lightsabers. And yeah, I'm more than happy to share those with you. Anyways, I'm just gonna play with this light guardian crystal for the next like 30 minutes, because honestly, these things just blow my mind still. I'm like, what, are they real? Anyways, okay, so with that said, thank you everyone again so much. Brandon obviously is on his phone right now, so he won't be able to check his Instagram until afterwards, but huge shout out to anybody who claims either of those giveaways, and thank you so much for being a part of the community and for being a part of this broadcast. And again, if you're watching this in the future, just send us a message anyways. Let us know that you tuned into this, and we'll be able to give you a discount. And anybody, and while we're at it, Arianna, Michelle, do you guys want to like offer anything to the community where if people were to message you, you'll be able to, because I know Arianna is like already doing like free consultation. Michelle, is there anything that if people were to message you that you would be like, like maybe I could do a thing or a something or something? Anything?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to copy, but I kind of do want to copy, because I was thinking,
do it.
A free consultation is like totally appropriate, you know, if they're looking for vocal empowerment coaching, or what I really do with the vocal empowerment coaching is I help people tune to their subtle energy and clear out blockages, so that when that blockage is cleared, they're able to express themselves in like a more fuller space. So if that appeals to you, it's really working with the subtle body on an energetic level through counseling, but also through exercises that allow us to like claim our empowerment, or our voice, our Shakti. It's really the Shakti, the female force that animates all things, and working with that on a higher level. So yeah, if you would like a free consultation with that, I would totally be down. I work in 4-session packages, and I can offer a 20% discount for those who come to me through the broadcast for that. I think that feels right. So sure. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Sweet. So that would be, let's just say that's for the first person who messages you, but for anybody else who messages afterwards, like, yeah, it would just be a great chance to be able to connect with Michelle and learn more about what she is offering as well. So
totally.
Super cool.
It feels good.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. And thank you, Michelle, for offering that for the community. And just reading in the comments, 1111 Balance. I think 1111 Balance is they just said they're trying to message you on Instagram, but they can't figure out how because they haven't used Instagram in a while. So keep an eye. They said they commented. So 1111 Balance may be the winner for the giveaway. We'll see. Hopefully they can figure out how to message as well. But anyway, just kind of like want to. If you see their comment, if it comes in before the message, then technically let's give it to them. But yeah, let's pass it over to Arianna and see if Arianna has any special offers. And again, I know she already offered like a free consultation in general, which is a common thing that she does. But yeah, just checking in with her. And again, like after this, we're pretty much just wrapping up the broadcast. And yeah, thank you everyone again for supporting your fellow creators. Arianna, anything else you want to offer for people tuned in?
Yes, I would love to offer the first person who messages me, I'd love to offer a distance Reiki session. So we could do that. You know, we don't even have to have a video call. I just need a name and location, or we could do it over video and chat while I read your energy. So yeah, I'd offer that. And I do free consultations I do that all the time. So if you're interested in hearing about the different modalities I offer, I'd love to talk.
Beautiful, beautiful. And again, for those of you on Facebook, be sure to check like the YouTube chat and also the information in YouTube after this broadcast to be able to message everyone. If you're watching this on Facebook, you may not see, like, you're just like, where are these links? But again, they're in the YouTube chat, so make sure you jump over to YouTube when you get a chance. But again, even if you're not the first person to message them, just go ahead and message them and just be like, hey, I saw you in the broadcast and I just wanted to be able to express my gratitude, and you'll be able to connect with them, and they'll have like something awesome to be able to to offer you in return either way. So again, for everybody here, please message your leading members in the broadcast tonight and let them know that you tuned in. And I know they would greatly appreciate just being able to hear from you and know that, like, again, this content is reaching people, and again, you're carrying it forward with you. So with that said, let's just go around the circle one last time now that we are almost at 3 hours. Oh God, 2 hours. This always happens. But we'll just go around the circle one more time with any closing thoughts, closing wisdom, insight, and closing gratitude. So let's just go back to Brandon, and then we'll go through everyone else, and then Arianna is going to lead us through just like a closing little meditation, and then we'll wrap it up. So Brandon, going back to you, brother, and thank you again so much for being here and for giving us a little bit of education about EMFs and everything else.
Thank you, Brendon. Yeah, so one thing to add, just as we're closing up here, is to just always trust that inner voice. You know, we tend to look past it a lot, and you know, we are very stubborn human beings. But the more that we trust, really, ultimately, this, the less we are led astray. So that's really all I have to say, and ending what I have to say tonight. And I'm grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful and just happy and to connect with all of you. And yeah, so thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again, Brandon. And again, making sure that everyone, yeah, like definitely like check out his stuff, support his stuff, order some stuff, and get yourself geared up for the shift. Sweet. Okay. And Michelle or Arianna, who wants to go next? Closing thoughts?
I'll go, because then she'll
Michelle.
go into meditation.
Yeah, that works.
I want to do a sound frequency. I want to do a sound. So.
Ooh.
Okay.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you again, Michelle. And be sure to check out Michelle at Michelle Infinity on Instagram, and you can check her link in her bio there. And is it still Infinite Everything? Is that still your website, or did you?
Yeah,
is it officially not anymore?
My very old website is Infinite Everything, but it's got like bugs because the so you have to scroll down for the website.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's like there's so much content on there. It's like kind of boggling. So I need like a very clear, like, I'm Michelle.
Yes. Yeah.
But then I haven't figured that out yet. Like how do I put that in clear form? So I haven't done it. So I'm just being. It's been good.
That's fine. The story's still unfolding. So yeah, definitely connect with Michelle, and you can find her on Facebook, and we'll include that into the show notes as well. And yeah, and let's see, I'll do my closing thoughts afterwards. But I was thinking, like, Michelle, with like you doing your voice thing and like Arianna like doing her thing, like if you guys want to collaborate on some stuff or something, I'm like, I don't know what Ariana's gonna do, but I like, just for the sake of practicing and jamming, if Ariana's like, hey, I'm gonna do like a little like meditation, and maybe Michelle's like woo in the background or something like that, then it's up to you guys.
I'll feel it.
Arianna, Michelle.
I'll just listen. I'll listen and see if it's needed.
Okay, Michelle will keep her mic open. Arianna, passing the talking stick to you, closing thoughts and gratitude. And yeah, once we go into the meditation, Michelle has permission to do whatever she wants to do.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, just so much gratitude. I'm so glad I was able to make it. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody who's here and in the future, for sharing this. I just feel so much gratitude for this. And yeah, I just wanted to pay attention to the time. How long should I do this meditation for? How deep do you guys want to go?
Let's literally just like 5 minutes would be
Okay.
enough. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're already juicy. Okay, that's a good idea. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for giving yourself this time to center, to breathe, to return, to just take a moment here to notice the breath. There's nothing to do or to change. Just notice the breath as it moves in and out, expanding, contracting. Just bringing a sense of gratitude to the breath. As you bring that awareness even deeper, just begin to notice the sensation. You can feel it either at the base of your spine or the bottoms of your feet. Begin to send down that grounding cord. You can feel it like roots going down deep into the earth, drifting deeper as you relax even deeper, feeling that go through all the layers of the earth, through dirt, through crystal, all the way down to the center of the planet. And there at the center, you can feel that love, that warmth that this planet has for all of us. And you can send that gratitude right back. Just send that gratitude to the center of the earth. Gratitude for Mother Earth. You can feel that loving energy, that warmth, that soothing, that healing, that transmutation energy moving up toward you. Up that grounding cord until it fills your feet, your legs, moving through every cell, allowing the energy of every cell to be cleansed, purified. As this energy moves up, you can feel it at the base of your spine, that energy there, healing, cleansing, allowing you to feel stable, connected, rooted. As this energy moves up into your sacral, as this moves up to your solar plexus, allowing you to stand in your power, to radiate. This energy moves up into your heart. You can feel that glowing, growing, humming energy, the love of the earth moving through you, radiating to you and from you. As this moves up into your throat, you can feel your voice getting clearer and clearer. As you can speak that gratitude, that change, that transformation into reality. This healing energy moves up your face into your third eye, allowing you to feel that clarity, that knowing that next step, until it moves through your crown chakra, connecting you to the cosmos. You can feel that energy, that divine source energy moving down toward you until it meets the earth energy at your heart. Swirling, allowing your body to be filled with this endless source, this divinity that is you. And as that energy coalesces there, moves there, it expands beyond your body, and you can send it out to the entire planet. allowing that gratitude in your heart to move through every cell in this planet, connecting with all the other light workers here today and all across the earth. Giving gratitude for us being here in this moment. And knowing this, feeling this, remembering that this state of being is yours at all times. You are always connected. Bringing that with you. Whenever you're ready, you can return to the room you are in. Gently moving your body, wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe stretching and yawning. Bringing that deep sense of gratitude forward into the future. Thank you.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Arianna.
Thank you.
How did that feel for you?
For me, wonderful.
Isn't it interesting when you get into that state and you're just like, it's a theta state, right? So you're just like, these words are just coming through me and I'm just kind of observing them. And they're not just for me, but they're for you.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell like you're very much in it. You do a very, very wonderful job of that. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Awesome. And let that again be an example for anyone to just be like, oh, like I can channel source wisdom too. I can do guided meditations too. So yeah, for everyone watching this, if you're watching this video and you're just like, oh, these people are so inspiring, again, it's like, oh, but that's because they're a reflection of me, and everything they can do, I can do. So we're all doing it. Awesome. So thank you again, everyone, so much for being a part of this broadcast. We are ready to bring it to an end. And of course, the story doesn't end here. It continues. Be sure to check out more at paradigmshiftcentral.com. Download the mobile app, subscribe to the newsletter, follow on Instagram, subscribe to YouTube, tell your cat, whatever you got to do, all those things, right? It's a huge list, right? But nonetheless, be sure to stay synced up and be sure to continue the story through your everyday, through your actions, through your conversations, through your free hugs, through your creativity, through your journey of knowing thyself. And so, yeah, as we wrap up this broadcast, just to give you a bit of a heads up, next week's broadcast, it's either going to be Dream Class, which is everyone's favorite broadcast because we like spend the whole time like talking about dreams and lucid dreaming and share our dream experiences, or because I have to meditate on this, what we may end up doing is like more of like kind of like an open mic freestyle jam type broadcast that would be much more like a party with singing and poetry and like all sorts of fun stuff. So maybe let me know. What would you rather? Because Dream Class could always come later, but I gotta check. I just gotta make sure that the schedule aligns. And so either way, it's gonna be something fun. It's gonna be something definitely exciting for you. So again, be sure to tune in for that. Best way is subscribing on YouTube. Again, the newsletter gets you notifications. Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes gives you the MP3 broadcast afterwards. And please send any of us on the broadcast a direct message. Let us know that you listened. Let us know that we're just like people who you're just like, oh my god, these people are so awesome, and we love you too. So thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to like literally leave a comment on YouTube, hit the like button. Like for there are hundreds of people who watch this broadcast, and then like there's a smaller amount that leave the comments. I'd love to be able to encourage us to just get into the habit of leaving those comments, not just because, hey, we want to know how awesome we are, but because we want to invite you to be able to practice expressing gratitude as well. And that's beautiful when other people land on the video and they see us as a community leaving comments and supporting each other. So really just take a moment to just be like, oh, I really love that part when like Michelle said this, or Arianna said that, or Brandon did this, or like Brendon like did something weird and funny and stuff like that. So whatever it was, I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you smiled. I'm glad you got to laugh. I'm glad you got to relax. I'm glad you got to be inspired. I'm glad you got to like open your heart and recharge your spiritual batteries. So again, be sure to tune in for future broadcasts. Be sure to connect on the Instagram. And again, I want to really be able to invite people to also be sure to check out the Patreon if they haven't yet. There's a lot of work that goes into making this content available for the community, and I am more than happy to be able to do it, and your support allows us to continue to increase the global impact. So by you supporting on Patreon, it basically is a way of helping us help more people. So again, $3, $11, $1,000, whatever you want to contribute, totally cool. Or maybe it's a direct purchase through the questitemshop.com to be able to get yourself the Light Guardian crystals and the shift buttons and all sorts of cool stuff. Whatever it is, your support in any form is equally appreciated. So thank you again, everyone, so much for being here. We look forward to being able to read your YouTube comments afterwards and being able to stay in touch. And yeah, shout out to, actually, I know who won the giveaway for the shift buttons. I have to reply to them, but I saw the message come in. Shout out to Red Rose Grace, who is in the YouTube channel. They were the first person to message me, so thank you so much to Red Rose Grace. The other people who messaged me, I'm gonna make sure that you guys get like a special credit for the quest item shop, or just let me know what you want, and we can figure out like some sort of special deal. You know, I'm totally open to that. So again, with everyone here, let's just stay on this broadcast for 2 more hours, because I can tell we're like I don't want to end. I just want to stay up all night and have a sleepover with you guys. Can we just do that? Can we just like leave the broadcast on as I fall asleep and we just listen to each other? Right? But nonetheless, we'll be back, and we're looking forward to being able to have you here once again. So be sure to tell your friends and invite them to be a part of what we're creating here through Paradigm Shift Central. Be sure to learn more about becoming a leading member and tune in if you want to join in for future broadcasts. And be sure to connect to our live chat. Go to paradigmshiftcentral.com and scroll down and click the public live chat and join our Discord server if you haven't already yet. And yeah, thank you again so much for being here. So everyone, let's join in and just sending some love. So go ahead, everyone, gently unmute themselves, and I'm going to bring up the outro music, and we will officially wrap up this broadcast. And yeah, well done, everyone. Good job. So go ahead, everyone, make some noise, send some love. Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you.
Let's get some wolf howls in there. Awesome. All right, thank you guys again so much for being here. As always, keep it shifty, and we will see you in the future. Peace, love, and wholeness. Thank you again to Danny Leonardo, whose music is featured at the beginning and end of this podcast. Be sure to listen to this particular track and more of Danny's awesome work by following the links down in the YouTube info below. Thank you, Danny.